got the deer all completely skinned, head's free. The next step is there's quite a bit of fat, especially over the rump area, and I'm just going to trim a lot of this fat off of here because I really don't want it. So I'm going to clean the carcass up now and get it, all the fat cleaned up and any old scrap of anything else, maybe some bruising back here where the arrow went in. I'll go ahead and maybe get that cleaned up right now. Okay, I got most of the tallow and stuff cut off. I know there's a lot of it on. I'll probably get a majority of that when I start deboning. But one thing that I like to do is I try and cut as much of the tallow off in one big chunk or big chunks, and then I'll put them in the freezer. Or if it's winter time, you know, I'll go ahead and hang them out for the birds. So it's just like kind of like soot for the wild birds. So that's usually what I do with the tallow. But I got that done. The next thing I'm going to do is debone all this neck meat and shoulder meat off as much as I can and put it in my start putting it in my green bucket. So I'm going to go ahead and get, like I said, a lot of this stuff here already, just start cutting it up. What I'll probably do with the shoulders and the neck and any of the other, what I call loose cuts, is grind that up in hamburger. So most of this stuff here will be put in a hamburger. So it doesn't really matter how I cut it off in pieces, because it all has to be cut up in pieces anyways to go in the grinder. So however I get it done, that's how it is, and I'll cut it up in pieces and trim in a little bit of the fat off of it, and that's all that's going to go into the grinder part of it. So like I said, that's my next step here. Okay, what I want to show you here is this is the front shoulder part of it, and there's the actual shoulder blade. You can see that I kind of scooped a lot of the meat off of there. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and finish cutting it off, and I'll trim a lot of this stuff off in the house. The shoulder blade, just like a squirrel or a rabbit or anything else, isn't attached with a ball joint. It's just attached with muscle and membrane. So there's a lot of that that's cleaned up, but I'll go ahead and maybe pull any little bit of stuff off of it later. Like I said, this is the meat here part of it that I'm trying to get right now down into the neck meat. You can see right here, I don't know if this light's going to be able to see or not, but here's where the arrow went in. You can see a lot of this bruising, and it's actually good meat. It's just blood that's on there, and that's one of the reasons why this whole section here, I'll probably just take and I might even soak that separate in a stronger solution of salt, just to draw a lot of that blood out of there. But like I said, it's all still good meat. It's just got a little bruising, looks a little rough. So okay, I got the back, or the shoulders and the neck bone all taken care of. Now the next thing I'm going to do is get the loin out. This is the loin that runs down the back of the backbone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and just follow. You're basically filleting it out. You're just following the rib backbone. It kind of sets, the backbone kind of sets as a T. What you're basically doing, the loin sets on both sides of that T. So you're just basically running your knife down, all the way down. Pretty well up here where the hips are. Kind of get started with your cut. You're just basically following it out. But if you look, part of it here, there's a shiny part of this, and those are called, that's the sinew. Okay, what I like to do first before I cut that out is I go ahead and remove what that does is that, for once, that's a very useful item. I'll show you maybe on a later video on how I use sinew. But when you cut your steaks on there, by removing that right off the bat, you're kind of making it more tender. You don't have to deal with that gristle part of it on it. So all I'm doing is running my knife blade separating it. You can kind of, once you get started there, it don't take a whole lot to, you can see right here where I'm peeling it down. I'm taking the flat of my blade and running it, kind of scraping it, working it back and forth. I have to help it out a little bit. If I get in between the meat and